Well, hello everybody. Here we are, week 2 of distance learning. I wanted to specifically talk a little bit about what we're doing today, but then also kind of prep you for what you're going to be doing this week. Um, Probably the most important thing for the day today is to remember you have a carbon cycle quiz. So please make sure you take some time to review. Make sure you send me questions if you have them. Take a look at the video you watched last week. Take a look at your notes that you took. Um, the quiz is timed, so it is important that you're ready to go. So make sure you're ready for that. All right. Otherwise, I want to turn our attention to our human impact unit. We started this on Friday, and this unit is going to flow a little bit different than what you're used to. On Friday, when you took a look at this folder here, it is set up in a way that kind of goes through the scientific process. So you started with the Engage folder. There were 3 things in there that I wanted you to do. These things, especially the graphic organizers, you're going to be working on throughout this entire unit because science is a process. It's not something you do one thing and then you're done and you never come back to it. So those things weren't due on Friday. It was important that you started them because the Engage folder frames up our human impact. And that's how the scientific process works. You view something, you see something, and you start to think about, well, what do you already know about that something? In this case, the question or the phenomena was taking a look at deforestation. What do you know? There are lots of things that you know about it already. There are things that you might think you know that are right. There are things that you might think that you know that are wrong, and that's perfectly okay. So that's our question, is to kind of think about how does that process of deforestation caused by humans impact all the other spheres. So once a scientist has engaged in a question and starts to think through what they know and what they don't know, from there they're going to start to explore things, and that's what we're going to focus on for the majority of this week. So in that Explore folder, there are 3 Explore activities that you're going to be working through this week. Today, you are going to start out with the Where Does the Carbon Go Explore activity. Please don't try to work ahead. Do what you need to do for the day. Okay. What you'll notice before each Explore activity is that there's a preview review. So when I take a look at the first one, there are just some questions for you to think about. I'd like you to answer them. Do you need to write them down somewhere? No. Is it a bad idea to write your answers down? That's entirely up to you. But I'd like you to read through them and just kind of think through, what do you know? And what do you not know? And it's perfectly fine if there are things that you don't know. Okay? But start with that. And then from there, the next thing is the Explore activity itself. So when you get into this thing, it asks you to do a little bit of drawing throughout this process. So whether you want to do those things on paper and snap pictures, you want to send it over to Notability if you can, and do them there, that's perfectly fine. But when I click on this link, I get this document right here. Okay. And there's a little bit of reading to go through. Okay. And the reason why we're exploring is because you as a scientist see a question and then you kind of explore to see what those answers are. Do you know those answers as a scientist right away? Well, no. Okay, and that's why we're exploring. Okay, so you're going to take a look at this link here, the effects of changing the carbon cycle, and it's from the website that we took a look at on or last week when we were doing our carbon cycle online activity. Okay, use this as a guide. There's good information in here. Okay. So there's some graphs and data to take a look at. But what the second question or second thing is asking you to do is to take some notes. Okay, so read through it, be detailed with your notes. And then from there, it's going to ask you to do something different, something that we really haven't done quite often. It's going to ask you to make some flow charts. Okay. And if you're confused about what a flowchart is or how to construct one, essentially it's just, a circle or a box that has information in it. You draw an arrow from that box to another one showing the flow of, whatever process or whatever your topic is about. Okay, so there are two flowcharts to make. Be real careful about showing the flow of carbon for A compared to the flow of carbon from B. They're going to look very similar, but the end spot here, I shouldn't say the end because it says beyond, but take a look at the bolded words as you make those flowcharts. And then down here, you're going to make a pie chart showing where human-generated carbon dioxide is stored in the different spheres. Okay. And then question 5 and 6 are what are positive effects and what are negative effects of having increased carbon dioxide within the different parts of the carbon cycle. Okay, so that's the explore activity for the day today. All right, what I want you to understand about exploring is that you're not necessarily going to understand each question right away. And you might not be able to answer each question right away. It might take you a little while to figure it out. Okay, and I don't want you to get frustrated. If you start to get frustrated, just put it away for a little bit. Go do something else, go outside, go to a different class, play a game, okay? And then come back to it, all right? Scientists do that all the time. They get wrapped up in something and they're trying to figure it out and, they get blocked, okay? So this process of exploring is going to feel a little bit different. It might be hard, and that's okay. Some of you guys last week did a wonderful job asking questions through Schoology, sending me messages, sending me emails, and that's great. Okay. I think during this Explore week, you're going to need to do more of that, or if you didn't do it at all last week, you're going to need to do that this week. Okay, because there are some, tricky things that we're going to be working through in these Explore activities. Okay, so the motto for the week this week is to, think. Okay, to take a break when you need to take a break, and to ask lots of questions. Okay, good luck this week. All right, and stay safe.